Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you some secrets that Louis Vuitton does not want you to know. And I have discussed many of these pain points ad nauseum, but I will address them again because I see that some of you may still have some questions. So let's just get into exposing these secrets. The first secret involves repairs. I did a video recently where I discussed how to get Louis Vuitton to authenticate your bag. These are for those who have maybe inherited a bag or were gifted a bag or purchased from a reseller and want to know without a shadow of a doubt whether their bag is counterfeit or authentic. And as I've stated before, LV does not authenticate bags. That is not a process that they offer. That is not a service that they offer. But a way that you get around it is to bring this item in question to LV and ask the repair specialist and ultimately the repair facility to assess the bag for a potential repair that you want done, even if you don't really want it done. You just ask. Because if they reject it, that's how you know it's counterfeit. If they accept it for repair, they will call you back and give you the opportunity to decline the repair, but that's really the only way you'll know it's authentic. Now, when LV takes in these items for repair, there is a cost associated with replacing whatever part, fixing whatever damage has been done, replacing the leather, replacing the handle, whatever it is you're asking for. And every boutique has what they call a repair book. The repair book has pretty much every item currently made and previously made and discontinued. For each product, they will have the line items associated with each repair. Some of them can be very costly. So for example, if you have an item that has a lot of leather, let's say, like a monogram canvas bag, and you want everything replaced, like an Alma, the entire bottom is the vachetta leather, or some older styles, I have a Cabas Mezzo, for example, the entire bottom part is all leather, and then you have two long leather handles. And then bags like the Neverfull, where you have the leather handles, you have the trim on the outside, you have the cinches on the side. That all adds up, and some of these can be very expensive, in the hundreds, $500–600. Now, what you may not know, or maybe you did suspect this, is that some of those repairs are waived. Even if they were not a defect or a deficiency within the bag, they are waived for VICs. And I did a video discussing the perks of a VIC that is a very important client. And one of them is, they can sometimes get repairs done completely for free. So in addition to gifts, being gifted to the VIC, they also are sometimes entitled to completely free repairs. So they can bring their vintage LV bags in and get a complete overhaul. And if you've seen these repairs, they look completely brand new. When a vintage LV bag is repaired and replaced with all brand new leather, they look amazing. Now, I'm not officially considered a VIC in terms of how much I spend currently, but I did at one point, I bought a vintage bucket GM from one of those Japanese resellers on eBay, and I got a great deal for it because the entire interior of the bag was completely really sticky and gross. And if you're familiar with that, the lining is it's called a Vittonite lining, and it basically deteriorates and becomes just this sticky, disgusting, gluey mess. So I brought it in to my, my old stomping grounds, my old workplace, and my manager, my favorite manager, we're catching up, and then I mentioned this bag, so I showed it to her, and she was like, yeah, we can replace it for you. We can totally get it repaired, don't worry about it. So it was sent to San Dimas, California, the official LV repair facility. They completely relined the entire bag. They kept the leather, which I wanted the leather to remain because I love the vintage, older look of the darker vachetta leather. I think I saw the receipt, and it would have cost like $600-something. It was a lot of money. When I went to pick it up, she was just like, no, there's no cost. She just waved it off, and maybe it's different now. But when I worked for LV, the way the process worked is that when repairs were sent out, they were collected as customers would drop them off. We would ship them out to the repair facility, and then they would do their work and then send them back in batches. And within each item was the cost associated with the repairs. I think the repair facility charged the location for the cost of these repairs. And then as the clients picked up their individual repairs, then the cost then was transferred to the client. We would charge the client the cost of their repair as they picked it up, and that's how we would kind of recoup our money. And sometimes the charges were nominal. A zipper pull often could be done at the location, but things like a zipper for a small, like a pocket lining. I mean, whatever, something just really small, replacing the D-ring on the inside of a bag. A lot of these repairs were under $100, off under $50. You know, we would charge them, but it's like nominal compared to how much the store generates throughout the day. So, you know, I mean, $600 might be a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's up to the manager as to whether they want to waive it or not. So sometimes they opt not to charge a VIC in order to maybe keep them in their good graces. Yeah, that's the first secret. So depending on how valued you are as a client, how much of a big spender you are, you might not need to pay for repairs. Another one. And this came up in my recent video where I kind of exposed LV hacks as not really true. One thing that a lot of clients kind of want secretly, or maybe even straight out ask for, is champagne. They just want to feel fancy while they are browsing. I mean, I don't really drink. It's not that serious. I feel confident in saying that if LV were not part of LVMH, literally, the MH part stands for Moet Hennessy, which as we all know is well known for their alcohol. And so the champagne is Moet Hennessy. That's what you'll get, Moet Hennessy champagne. Based on the history of LV, if LV were not owned by a literal fancy alcoholic beverage distributor, the champagne they would serve would be the cheapest that they probably could get. Whatever the equivalent of, you know, Trader Joe's $2 chuck, that's what they would serve, the champagne. So you do get Moet Hennessy, but it's not that serious. Even through all my years, I don't know, it wasn't as big of a deal when I worked for LV. Nowadays is a little more free-flowing, although, you know, with COVID, it's kind of taken a pause. And the other thing is they will serve coffee sometimes. And this I know for a fact, all the facilities I worked at, there was no coffee service. One or two instances when we did have clients who we wanted to serve coffee to, I would literally have to go to Starbucks and get them coffee. And then I would, you know, re-pour it into the one fancy tableware setting that we had in the boutique. It's not that serious. There's no mystery to it. It's Starbucks. It's okay. I would rather have the Evian water when I go in. The next secret, and this might be a surprise to you. In my personal experience, we found that the fine jewelry and the fashion jewelry was not the best quality. And in fact, in a very embarrassing incident, one of my colleagues was showing a client one of our fine jewelry bracelets, and it was a like hinge cuff bracelet. I forgot exactly, but it was the one that had the nail heads on it. Yeah, I don't think they have it anymore. She was trying to affix the bracelet onto the client's wrist, and she was pushing it too hard or something, and the bracelet just snapped in half very easily. And this wasn't a fashion costume jewelry. This was fine jewelry, like 14, 24 karat gold, maybe it was white gold. I mean, you're trying to make that sale of this very expensive gold jewelry to a client, and then it breaks in half. That just totally soured the appointment. And yeah, she obviously did not walk out with a piece of jewelry after that. Throughout the years, I've seen crystals would fall out, the diamonds would fall out in the fine jewelry, the locks would break, the clasps would fall, and also the watches. I mentioned in my LV perks video that at the end of every season, there would be these kind of fire sales for the end of season, kind of seasonal merchandise, ready to wear shoes. There also would be watch sales occasionally and fine jewelry. I felt that they were pushing it so hard because clients didn't really want to buy it, and maybe LV employees didn't really want to buy it. It just wasn't the best, in my opinion. I didn't think people looked to LV for their watches. I just vividly remember my poor coworker, the look of horror on her face when she had these like two broken, expensive pieces of LV jewelry in her hand. Maybe the quality of the jewelry has gone up since I left, but if it is compared to the quality of the leather goods, maybe not. That brings me to my next point. The general quality of almost everything has gone down. It has declined, in my opinion. It definitely is not worth what they are charging. There just was another price increase, and it is absurd how much they are charging for plastic PVC canvas. The pochette accessoire, I mean, I remember when it was like in the 200s. Now, the most recent price increase, it jumped up. It most recently was $790. It is now $1,050, I believe, which is so insane to me because it literally is just a cosmetic pouch. It is a toiletry pouch, accessory pouch. It's a pouch. It's not meant to be a bag, but I know that they are increasing it dramatically in terms of compared to the rest of the leather goods, because they know that people are using it as a bag, using it as a clutch, buying, you know, crossbody straps and wearing it as a crossbody bag instead of using it as an accessory pouch, which was its intended purpose. So yeah, $1,050. I mean, is it worth $1,050? I don't think so. And if you look at everything, the quality of everything is going down. I see pictures that people send me, and I see them in, you know, LV Facebook groups, fan groups, looking at these these like microscopic imperfections. Let me tell you, so many items are easily scratched in store. It's a little tougher for the canvas to get scratched, but definitely the leather can be scratched easily. And then the hardware, if it doesn't have the plastic coating or the tape that's still on there, you can see these like tiny, tiny scratches. And sometimes they're not tiny, actually. I know that with the belt display, it was a huge issue because the belts were constantly falling, constantly. And so you have these expensive belts, these expensive, huge belt buckles that were just completely scratched up from being on display. At one point, we sold umbrellas in store. I think they still do have umbrellas, but I don't really see it in store. But the tip of the umbrella, which was either a brass, metal, or it could have been even a plastic, both the tip and the handle were always scratched up. So when I talk about RTV, which is return to vendor, that was where employees would purchase LV merchandise at a discount. Those were always available for employee discount because they were constantly getting just tore up from being in the store, not even on display, but even being in the stock room. It was just always getting beaten up. Luggage also was another one. There were always scratches, the wheels were dirty. Nothing is impervious to getting scratches, which leads me to my final secret that LV may not want you to know. And this is something that I guess I'm kind of surprised that people are maybe unsure about this, but there is a likely chance that the bag you bought from LV is not new. And in fact, it could be that it was on display, or it could have been a return from a customer. Some clients think that LV never sells bags from display and that LV never sells bags that have been returned. I don't really know why they would think that. First of all, the return policy is such that the item has to be in perfect condition, unless there's a deficiency. Barring any kind of deficiency or, some kind of extenuating circumstances, if you're returning an item, it has to be in saleable condition, meaning the store has to be able to sell it to another client. So yeah, there is likely a chance that the bag that you bought that you think is brand new was actually worn by someone, brought to their house, walked around, maybe even walked outside, carried outside, carried to the store, put their stuff in it, and they changed their mind and then brought it back to the store. Actually, some people have commented that they purchased a bag and when they opened it inside the slip pocket, and this is a few people who commented this, that when they purchased a bag that they thought was new, the pocket inside or a wallet or whatever had the previous owner's receipt showing that they used it, or gum wrapper or something just gross. Ew, If I can, I would recommend going in store and inspecting the exact item you hope to purchase, because if you're just waiting to receive it at your home. Not that they would, they shouldn't try to argue with you, but it is your word against theirs if you open up a bag and then there's someone's credit card receipts or gum wrapper showing that someone else bought it and used it. So yeah, people return bags. Those bags go right back out and sold to another customer. Bags that were on display, they are sold straight from the shelf and given to the customer. Unless there is a new one in the back. There isn't always a new one in the back, and they do sell from display. I go into this in my debunking LV myths video. I have 2 of those out now, and I go more in detail into the display return process. Unless you are basically a VIC and your client advisor calls you and says, hey, we have a brand new bag just for you, and you go and you see them take the bag out of the shipping box with the plastic still on the leather, with the foam and everything wrapping the bag. That's pretty much the only way you can guarantee that it is brand new. And again, before people say anything, I mentioned this before, but yes, when LV bags are shipped to the boutique before they're put out on the floor, they are wrapped, they have plastic, they have styrofoam, they have padding. There is plastic on these bags to protect them during shipment. It's supposed to be removed before it's put out on the floor and sold to customers, but for some VICs, client advisors will make the exception, because if you spend enough, you can have it your way. And if you want to know that your bag is brand new, that's pretty much the only way you know, if you see it come out of its original packaging. If not, there is a very likely chance that someone else carried your bag for you. So those are just a few more secrets that LV does not want you to know. Let me know if you suspected any of these. Let me know if you have seen any of these in action, specifically whether you bought a bag and it was obviously a return because the previous owner's stuff was inside the bag or wallet or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed exposing these LV secrets. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to catch you in my next video. Bye.